What's happening, folks out there? Broadcasting live to you and yours. It's your boy, Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool. And you are watching or listening to another episode of the Game and Watch podcast. This is episode 109. Happy Saturday night, or happy Sunday morning, wherever you're watching or listening to this podcast. I am joined once again by my main man, the F Man, Finest Stabs.
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome to another episode.
And we're also joined by a newcomer, Game and Watch first timer, Dan. How you doing, Dan?
How are you? Nice to be here. I'm very excited to get started.
yeah. So it's great to have you, definitely. Once again, just a reminder that the Game and Watch podcast is a RView Gaming or OVG production. We are available on all audio platforms wherever you listen to your podcast. For your watching or viewing pleasure, we are available on Twitch, YouTube, wherever you want to watch us, see our lovely faces. We are there. And also, if you want to email the show or reach out to us, Game and Watch Podcast at gmail.com. If you're watching us live, feel free to comment in. And we also do have a Patreon. Any dollar or cent donated to our Patreon will make this a better show for all of us. And lastly, but not least, you'll find everything that we talk about in today's episode in the show notes. So with that out of the way, how y'all doing? Dan, Finest. Well, Dan, tell us a little bit more about yourself. This is your first time, so
Yeah,
the world wants to know.
I live in the UK. It's 4:00 in the morning here, I just love to play games, and I'm passionate about games like we all are. So I just thought, talking about it is always a good thing, never a bad thing, is it? And nothing more to say really. I just like to play games in my spare time, strategy, fighting games, or even shooting games.
All right, so you told us a little bit about the genres. What kind of hardware do you have? Your PC, Xbox, PlayStation,
I've got
Nintendo?
an Xbox Series X.
Okay.
Have got a gaming PC, but I'm not very good at the specs kind of thing. I know I've not long bought it, so from a gaming shop near where I live. So I just play some games on there, like top of my head, wrestling games like WWE 2K22.
That's a
Oh
great
man,
one.
Justin, you just got a fan right there.
Yeah, I play that one myself on the PS5 though, but yeah, that's a very good game.
Yeah. Like Football Manager 2022. I like them kind of games. I think you
So wait,
guys
wait,
call
wait.
it soccer over there.
Yeah, we call it soccer, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious. What is a football manager game like? What are the gameplay mechanics like? Because I've never played I played sim games, where
Yeah,
like you're simming
it's
out like other aspects and of life and things like that. But I've never
mm,
played one where like you're a coach of a team.
yeah, it's all stats basically. You pick a team and you go out and play as that team, but it's all based on stats and it's like being an actual football or soccer manager. Um, and it's very in depth as well. You need a lot of time to play it. It
Hmm.
used to be
Hmm.
where you just pick a team, send them out and play, but now it's like you've got to sort out your scouts, your other staff members, and your players, and it could take ages to finish the season. So yeah, so it's all it's kind of one of the popular games over this way,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
over this side of the water.
Yeah.
Because it's just a very popular football, is very popular over here. Well, soccer.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. You can say football. We are a worldwide podcast. We have people,
Yeah.
Yeah,
from
we are a world
so
podcast.
us people in the states we'll get it eventually. We'll figure it out. But so why this and just not play like a game like FIFA?
I think it's more strategy game than FIFA. FIFA, you have control of the players. You have it in the palm of your hand. With this,
Mhm.
it's not. It's about you finding the right tactics and the combination, and trying to make the best of what you've got. and it's
Yeah.
more strategy, which I love. I love that them kind of games. Yeah. So
Yeah, it's like GM mode in like say NBA 2K or
yeah,
WWE
yeah,
2K.
Mm,
yeah.
So I mean, I want to say
You're
it's
in
more like that.
control.
Yeah,
But yeah,
nice.
putting together the best roster you can. So I mean,
mm,
yeah, I totally get that.
yeah. I also play The Sims as well. That's one of my favorite game.
All right,
As like you say, a simulation game. Uh, Going through everyday life. Love them kind of games. So
all
yeah,
right, all right, sounds good. And then do you game on the retro side? I just gotta ask, on the PS.
yeah. I've got on Steam. I've got a load of Sonic the Hedgehogs because that's my favorite all time
Oh,
game. That is
awesome,
like
awesome.
the 1 to 4 plus Sonic and Knuckles. So them kind of games like Street Fighter or Streets of Rage. Them
Oh
kind
yeah,
of Mega Drive. I grew up with a Mega Drive when I was younger.
yeah. We call it
So,
the Genesis here in the States.
oh, Genesis.
Yeah. Speaking of Mega Drive, are you getting Mega Drive 2, as they call it? I guess it comes out at the end of the month.
uh,
The Mega Drive 2 Mini, I should say.
oh yeah, I've heard about that. But I've not actually read more into that. I'll have to read into that because I've
All right,
never.
all right, for sure. I'll definitely send you a link
Yeah,
after the
definitely,
show
definitely. I
if
didn't.
it's something you'd be interested in.
Hmm.
And now that we learned a little bit more about you, what are we playing? I guess Dan, since we started with you, I guess you can continue. What you currently playing right now that you
Um,
want the audience to know?
I'm currently. I've done it about 3 times, so please forgive me. I'm currently doing the story mode on GTA 5 at the moment.
Okay.
I've completed that about 5 times, but I do love the story on it, so I thought I'd do it again. Especially when the news maybe GTA 6 is coming out, so in the next 10 more years. But yeah, yeah, that's what I'm playing, and I've only just started it and going through the campaign again, trying to
So,
do try and do it a bit differently, going a bit more attacking, like I did strategy last time, so a bit more attacking on the missions at all. So it's all good.
when was the first time you played GTA 5? Was that back in like 2013 when it
It
first came
was,
out?
yeah, on the
Yeah.
old Xbox One.
Wow.
I bought it on day one, and it was like it was yeah. So
It's changed
Yeah,
quite
uh,
a bit since then. Yeah.
yeah. I haven't bought
yeah,
the new one for my PS5 just yet, but I mean, I played online on PS4. Didn't I went halfway through the story when I got it on PS4, but I beat the game originally on PS3. But
mm,
but in that generation, online really sucked, so it wasn't worth doing in my opinion. And it was at the bare
no,
end anyway. So I mean, just if you had it for the PS3 or Xbox 360, hopefully you didn't try to online. Otherwise, you probably would have given yourself a headache.
mm, yeah. Well, I just try. I did online a few times, but I just never liked it. Even when I went back to Series X,
Mm.
online, it's just it's full of people, and you spawn and then you die, and it's like no, you can't be doing with it. So.
All right. Well, definitely. Thank you for sharing.
Hmm.
F-Man, what are you playing?
I'm playing that GOW. I'm playing God of War. Making my way through that one. So I mean, right now I'm just going to, and I guess spoilers, no spoilers. Yeah, no, I'm just going to the different realms so I can right now just get up the main mountain. Yeah, I mean I'm enjoying it. Like I said, it's been probably about a month now that I've been playing, so I'm definitely taking my time with it. Like I'll play for 30-minute like hour spurts, and then I'll kind of just like jump off because I don't have a lot of time to game right now. But yeah, I'm playing that. I'm enjoying it. I'm of course ramping up before God of War Ragnarok comes out, and I'm a man, dude. I can't watch anything around Ragnarok because I keep on getting spoilers. I know more about like not Grand. I know more about God of War than I did like a month ago, just because like all the stuff that's going on with Ragnarok right now. But I'm stoked. I know we're gonna be talking about it later, but just like seeing like everyone's impressions of like God of War Ragnarok over the last week, it's got me so pumped. I'm so ready. I'm so ready to dive in. The hype is real. So yeah, I would. I'm having a good time, and that's only. I've been playing that mainly. Other than that, like I've been playing Hot Wheels Unleashed. Whenever I have like 5 minutes, I'll jump into there, and then other than that, um, I just downloaded something off of PlayStation Plus. Yeah, I can't even remember what it was, but yeah, that's it. But how about you? How about you, Tutal? What you been playing?
All right. Well, I mean, with this being the year of the turtles, I've been playing all those games when I can. Mainly the old NES game that I gave you in that little lot of NES stuff, the Ninja Turtle Suit arcade game from the Cowabunga collection. I think of all the games in that collection, believe it or not, that is my personal favorite. Yes, I even like it better than Turtles in Time, and we all know that Turtles in Time was a better game. But I mean, for just some weird reason, I just feel like that it was just, I guess for the time that it was done, porting the actual arcade game to the NES, it had to take a lot of effort. So big ups to Konami back then for doing that. And then Shredder's Revenge when I get time to play that, and then I also recently downloaded a game. Well, downloaded it yesterday. A game we talked about it last month. Came out last month on the Switch. I believe it's been on PC for a minute now. Railgrade, and it's I didn't think it was going to be that much fun, but it is more fun than I actually thought. It starts off slow. Right now I think I'm still in the beginning stages of the game, just learning the mechanics, trying to do whatever the foreman or your boss tells you to do, make railroads from one point to another, and all that good stuff. So, I mean, I definitely do want to dive more into it. It does seem very time consuming, but as long as you're having a fun time, it should be good. So, yeah, definitely Railgrade on Nintendo Switch and PC. Definitely check it out. Hopefully, they put it on PlayStation or Xbox at a later point. But that is what I have been playing. Got any questions about those games? No, maybe.
No, no. I think you said it well.
All right.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's a good game, man. It's only 19.99 on the eShop, folks. At least here in the U.S. So anyway, without further ado, let's jump into the gaming news callouts. Um, yeah. So definitely, let's start this show on a sad note. Well, I guess well, maybe sad to some people and a sigh of relief to some other people, and that is G4 TV is shut down, and it was less than a year after it had relaunched. Pretty much, I guess the news broke on Sunday through Wario64 that the channel was going to be no more, and the whole world found out that way, even the people who work there. That's kind of a shitty way to find out that, hey, I don't have a job anymore, or it's kind of on the fences of like, hey, I'm on a sports team and I've just been traded, and I found out on ESPN. Like, yeah, that was kind of a shitty way to do it, but definitely. Little quote from what's his name here, David Scott. He says that the timing and severity of the cuts took staff by surprise, with the talent showing upset to ready to film, to have programming called as HR reps met individually with employees. No, that's not the quote I was looking for. Here it is. It's kind of a long one. Pretty much, he just says, team, as you know, G4 was reintroduced last year to tap into the popularity of gaming. We invested to create the new G4 as an online and TV destination for fans to be entertained, be inspired, and connect with gaming content. Over the past several months, we worked hard to generate that interest in G4, but viewership is low and the network has not achieved sustainable financial results. This is certainly not what we hoped for, and as a result, we have made the very difficult decision to discontinue G4's operations effective immediately. I know this is disappointing news. I'm disappointed too. I want to thank you and everyone on the G4 team for the hard work and commitment to the network. Our human resources team is reaching out to you to provide you with support, discuss other opportunities that may be available, and answer any questions you may have. And he signs his name here. Yeah. I guess I'll start off, and I will say this. And I don't want to get into what you said, but yeah, the Frost grant was not the reason this ended. Maybe it sped up a little sooner with the ramp, but I don't think that was the reason why it ended. The ratings were low, and just there are a bunch of other things out there that people can consume gaming news through, YouTubers, other networks,
Us,
etc.
us.
Yeah,
Us,
yeah,
us,
There you go. I'm
us.
not. I'm not saying we put G4 out of business. I'm not
Yeah,
saying that. But
no,
I'm
yeah,
saying,
yeah,
there's
yeah,
a billion of us gaming podcasts out there. Like there
yeah, yeah,
really is. Like,
yeah,
and so like every person that jumps in and wants to do video gaming news, like they die out like within
yeah,
like 6 months. It takes so much work,
yeah.
and there's
It,
just
it
so many of
does.
us. Yeah, we're kind of a dime a dozen, but hopefully everyone out there appreciates what we do here. So
Yeah.
yeah, because we
So I
do it
mean,
pro bono. We don't get paid.
yeah, yeah, yeah. These people were getting paid, so it's
Yeah.
like, yeah. I mean, so it's just real tough, to see, and just I'm sorry to everyone who worked over there that wanted to make it work, but not even just so much like the YouTubers and the YouTube
mm,
numbers and the Twitch numbers on the cable side of things. It was the lowest ranked network. I forget where the source was, but it was not doing well. So I mean,
Yeah.
Dan, did you ever watch the new G4 TV, or did you watch it back in the day?
no. I never really. I don't know if it's a US thing, but it was never shown or never heard of over here. So when I was reading it earlier, it was very, very shocking because I never heard of it. So, so what was it? Was it like an on? It was a little bit like Twitch, or was it like a TV channel online?
Well, it was. Is it okay if I? Did
Yeah,
you
yeah,
want to tell me what it is, Justin?
yeah, you can take it
So
over.
it was originally a TV show that came back in the like the early 2000s.
Hmm.
And then they had multiple like video game programming. They had X Play, they had Attack of the Show, they had I don't know, some other ones. Yeah, they had quite a few. I can't remember them all offhand, but yeah, basically like it was on for multiple years. And then of course it got canceled eventually, and then tried to tried to bring it back last year, or
Right.
yeah, about last year. And in bringing it back, like they got like a lot of they got some of like the original hosts like Kevin Pereira. They got Adam Sessler, who was also like one of the originals. And yeah, they brought it back, and with a lot of hype, and they invested a lot into the production of like what that company was.
Mm.
And
Yeah, they invested
uh,
a lot into it.
yeah, they invested a lot into the company, and the production of the company and everything like that. And yeah, it didn't survive. They invested, I think, maybe too much too quickly
Mm.
into the
Mhm.
company, because like the show was so different than it originally was. It was like when they brought it back, it wasn't the same show. Like I didn't watch it
Right.
because it wasn't even close to what it was originally. Like they
Mhm.
still talked about video games, but it almost felt like video games were like almost a side production to like the
Mm.
cast. To me, like I think like the cast was like very much the main focus, and then like video games almost took a backseat to them.
Yeah.
And then yeah, they just ran it completely different. Of course, there's different hosts. It's multiple generations later, but in the same respect, like if you're not catering to like your original audience, how can you cater to a new audience that has no idea what to expect or what this is, or so forth?
Yeah.
Like
It's a new
so,
generational thing, isn't it? I
yeah.
mean, uh, people like my son has grew up with watching YouTube or watching Twitch or watching
Mhm.
like us on podcasts. That's what he's grown up with. He's not grown up with anything like this. If you're not catering for the original audience, you can't expect the new generation to, like you say, to enjoy it as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, and they
So,
were, and that's the thing. They were split so many different places. They were on Twitch,
mm,
they were on YouTube, they were on cable. So they were a lot of different places, and it was kind of like
It was all over the place.
yeah, it was all over the place, and just like the way that they presented it, it was a little bit confusing in my opinion. I think my ultimate takeaway is like I'm in the Discord with the G4 community, and they're like very much still trying to continue that community, and they're trying to just keep everyone that supported them throughout this entire year. They're
Right.
trying to keep them going and keep them together. And I just love being in that Discord, the vibes and the people that you talk to, and just the enthusiasm and the support behind everyone is absolutely incredible. But the way that they found out about the cancellation of their show, and that they had no longer had jobs, is absolutely horrible, because
I know.
they just did a mass layoff last month.
Yeah, that's the
That's
crazy
the
thing
crazy
about
part.
it. So like,
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
and
I
they
mean,
told them they're all safe. They were like, "Oh yeah, no, like they're like we did our mass layoff. Like we just needed to, like shrink the company and shrink, the people with it, like the investment within the company." And then literally on a Sunday, they put out this tweet that says like, "Hey, everything's canceled. Everything's done." So like my heart goes out to them.
Yeah,
It's absolutely
definitely.
horrible.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a shitty way to find out you lost your job. I mean, they
Mm.
could have handled it better, but I guess it leaked, and Wario64 got a hold of it, and once that went to Twitter, it was just, oh boy, okay. But I mean, I didn't know you're in their Discord. It has to be kind of awesome. So you probably know some of those people, or are any of the hosts in the Discord also,
Yeah,
Finest?
all the hosts are. Yeah.
Okay. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Pretty awesome. Pretty awesome that you keep up with those guys. And I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, I know I've said this before, but it just seems like someone just wanted to bank on the nostalgia, and now it just
Nah,
unfortunately didn't work
they
out.
honestly, like, they didn't try to bank on the nostalgia. Like, that wasn't an aspect. I think everyone that in the G4, like every new person in G4 was a fan of G4.
Hmm.
And like honestly, the amount that went into them producing a whole new show and getting like Xavier Woods and Adam Sessler back and paying all
Yeah.
these just the production of it. It was it it wasn't like $1 million production, but it was still for like a video game show. Like video game shows don't exist because they don't make money. Like that's the fact
Yeah.
of it. That's why we're all on YouTube. That's why we're on Twitch. That's why we're on Patreon. Because there's no way to really support this business, because people really don't. There's a lot of ways to get the information.
Yeah.
Most people like doing it from the main source, or they like doing it from their favorite personalities. And if you weren't a fan of any of these people, like if you were not following these people prior to the show starting, or you didn't develop like that relationship with like these hosts, and you didn't care about them, then what reason do you have to watch? So it wasn't a money grab or anything like that. Like it was a honest, in my opinion, it was honest. It was an honest try to bring this back.
Yeah.
In what is a very much $1 billion business. Like video games is the largest media in the world, but it doesn't work like other mediums. It doesn't work like books. It doesn't work like movies.
Yeah. You're not
So
gonna make a whole lot of money and trying to do something like that.
you
Unfortunately,
you
that's
can,
why.
but you have to build the community ahead of
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And we're talking
Yeah.
about different generations. We're talking about the 2000s. That
Yeah.
community is not the same community as right now. So
Yeah. And what made it work so well back in the day is, like before IGN really took off, like back in the day, or GameSpot or anything like that, G4 was really the only thing around. Like, 2005, 2006, if you wanted to watch a review about a particular game, you were going to go to G4, not so much YouTube. But I mean, that
No.
definitely, I mean, my heart goes out to them. Hopefully, we see those personalities around, or we see, some good stuff that comes in the future. Uh, definitely though. But Xavier Woods though, he has that up up down down YouTube channel. I don't know if you all hadn't checked that out. Check it out. It's
I
great.
love that YouTube
Yeah.
channel. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely like watching that from time to time. All right, moving on. So the company Analog is got news on some of their products. I'll talk about the one with the Analog Pocket, the handheld that's very hard to get a hold of. You can actually get a Steam Deck now before you get that. But the Pocket cartridge adapter is available for pre-order starting yesterday actually. It's going to go for $99.99, and it's pretty much an adapter that supports the TurboGrafx 16, the PC Engine, Super Graphics, Neo Geo Pocket, Neo Geo Pocket Color, and the Atari Lynx. And then, on a side note, for two of their other popular products, the Super NT and the Mega SG, they have announced that they are going to be doing a final run of those products. And in my opinion, these are two of the best clone consoles that are out on the market right now for the 16-bit era. I have the Super NT in that color. It's gotten me into collecting Super NES carts again. Um, so definitely, if you want one of these, definitely check it out. It's a great alternative, especially if you don't have a CRT laying around and want to play your old Super Nintendo carts. You can into and plug it in with the HDMI.
Mm.
Dan, so you grew up with the Genesis, the Mega SG. Does that interest you at all?
That does, yeah. That's that looks awesome. I'm just finding out actually if I can get it in the UK, but there's no information at the moment, so I don't know if it's going to come over here or not. But that is something that I would be very interested in because
Yeah, you have a long wait till it. So I mean, I'm sure they'll release more information, but it's not coming out
Yeah,
until 2023 in Q4.
no,
yeah,
So you got
no,
you got quite a bit of time.
yeah,
yeah. And then
so
pre-orders do start at the end of the month, October 28th, and it will
mm,
be priced at $200. Yeah, they haven't been selling them for a while. Mine I actually got off the aftermarket price. I paid a little over 200 for it, but I mean, I think it's well worth it. I mean, you could also jailbreak it, play games off a SD card, at least for the Super NES one. All
Hmm.
of them except for the ones that required the FX chip and some of the more advanced games like Super Mario RPG, for example.
Yeah,
But
and then they'll be
otherwise,
retailing for 199 also. So for
yeah,
anyone that is interested out there, that's that's it. That it's up there in price. But
it's
yeah,
worth
I mean,
it.
have you used any of your 8-bit Do controllers on it? Because I know they're 8-bit Do compatible.
They're 8-bit dual compatible, and they're also Super NES wireless compatible.
That's
oh,
nice.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so
Yeah,
pretty much, yeah, you can use your 8-bit dough with the retro receiver. I'll show you guys what it looks like for those of you watching. This is the retro receiver here. Pretty, that's from 8-bit dough. Pretty much, you plug it in, or you can use your original hardware also. So um, that definitely very good product. So if
yeah.
you're a Genesis kid or Super or Mega Drive, I should say, or Super Nintendo kid, Super Nintendo was a better one, by the way.
Oh
Definitely
well,
pick these up.
my favorite thing about these consoles is they actually don't rely on emulation. So
Yeah.
that like if you are like if you're looking for like a console that has like no lag, that you're not gonna have to worry about glitches, that like it's actually gonna play off the cartridge. These are great because they actually use a FPGA chip,
Hmm.
which is a field programmable gate array.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty awesome. Like the fact that like you will have these and they're gonna run better than ever. They're gonna run at 1080p on your high definition TV. This is gonna be the better one of the best
mm,
ways to play like your retro games.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. So yeah. So it pretty much mimics the original hardware. But I mean, I'm a little bummed that they're only doing one last run. So definitely pick these up. Maybe it'll do more. You never
Yeah.
know. But I mean, at any rate, let's. I mean, these only come a dime a dozen. It looks like. So definitely jump on it while you can. All right. Any final thoughts on analog products?
No,
Nope.
solid
no, it's
products
all
all
good.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. All right. So we got some Xbox news.
Huh?
Uh, Xbox news. Yes. We're gonna talk about Game Pass. It seems like we can talk about Game Pass every episode, at
I
least
think
every
we
episode
do.
almost. Really, we really do. It's like, all right, here's another update for Game Pass. All right. So we're gonna talk about some of the games that are coming to the service, and then the ones that are leaving the service. So actually, the games that just recently came to the service: A Plague Tale, Rec Room for cloud, console, and PC. Amnesia Collection, Cloud Console PC, Amnesia Rebirth, Cloud Console PC, Phantom Abyss, Cloud, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Soma, Cloud Console and PC. And then Persona 5 Royal, which just came out yesterday, Cloud Console and PC. And then next week we got 3 games coming. Frog Detective, The Entire Mystery, Cloud Console and PC. Gunfire Reborn, Cloud Console and PC. And Signalis, Cloud Console and PC. I think that's going to be a day one Game Pass, day one release. And then well, what comes must go. So it looks like we got looks like Game Pass is losing 8 games at the end of the month. I believe they are leaving October 31st. Sniper Elite 4, The Forgotten City, Alan Wake's American Nightmare, Second Extinction, Backbone, Project Wingman, Non Guns, Doppelganger Edition, and Bassmaster or Fishing 2002 will all be leaving on October 31st. Dan, so you have an Xbox. Are you a Game Pass subscriber?
I am, yes. I love playing on Game Pass. Um, yeah, I was reading them. The only one that might interest me, well, they all interest me, but that Fog Detective, that is very interesting. But yeah, I've been looking forward to downloading some of these games on the PC and console because I got them on both. So it's all good.
All right, and then is there any games on here that is leaving that you would suggest people to play right now before the 31st?
Sniper Elite, definitely. If you've not
Sniper
played
Elite.
it,
Oh.
play it because that is one of my favorite games. I'm hoping to play the fifth one soon. That's on Game Pass as well. So yeah, I'll be looking. I've downloaded that, but not had a chance to play it yet.
All right, right on. Definitely. F Man, did you renew your Game Pass subscription yet?
No, I have not. I'm waiting for Xbox to give me a reason to. Um,
And I'm guessing
yeah,
none of these games give you a reason.
yeah. I mean, look, we talked about Corn last week, which is on screen right now.
Oh boy.
It has medium to mild expectations, like in terms of like people are enjoying it. I'm in another Discord with another group, and we were all talking about this game, and no one knew it was a puzzle game. Like everyone was so thrown off that it was a puzzle game. I follow like games pretty closely, so I already knew. And I was very much like, oh yeah, like that's very much what it is. But yeah, that was a surprise for a lot of people, and I think it kind of reflects in a lot of the reviews. In terms of the games leaving, not really, super excited about anything leaving, or super depressed that anything's leaving. I'm fine with all of them going. I think in terms of the only games that I'm actually interested in is the one that's on screen right now is Persona 5 Royale. Let's see. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm reading the comments as as I'm talking. But yes, that is true. It was advertised as a puzzle game. That is, but most people aren't looking at advertisements. Most people are looking at the art. They're looking at the surrealism. They're looking at the just the overall game itself, and they're looking at the aesthetic. There wasn't a ton of gameplay like put out, unless you were watching like developer interviews and stuff like that. So a lot of people just, I think it just went over their heads, and especially with it being on Game Pass, more people are able to try it than like normally would. And so they just play it, like seeing like this really artistic look, and then yeah, then they just like are like, wait, what did I do? I just step in. This game is super gross. I can't wait to get my pistol and start shooting some gross creatures. And then they really don't get that. I mean, there is a shooting section and later on, but yeah, it's not what people expected. But Persona 5 is the game that is in my backlog, and Persona 5 Royale. So once again, I've already said this on previous shows, but I was playing Persona 5. I bought the game right before Persona 5 Royale came out. or right before the announcement for it, and I just kind of dropped the controller right there. I was like, oh well, I'm not gonna play through this game because I'm not gonna play 120 hours plus a Persona 5 Royale and then jump into or play Persona 5 and then jump into Persona 5 Royale. Other than that, this other game right here, Moonscars, is a Metroidvania game which looks pretty freaking sweet. Yeah, so those are my two biggest games. But no, I'm not going to renew my Game Pass for either of these games. We'll see Deer in Q1 or Q2 when Redfall comes out and Starfield comes out soon thereafter, and if anything comes out in between. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only way I think I'll be turning on my Xbox is, if someone wants to play like a multiplayer game or something. So, we'll just have to wait and see. I mean, none of these games, they're not on my radar. I'm not the most interested in them. I'm just being honest. Frog Detective does look pretty interesting, but I don't think it's enough for me to want to just renew my Game Pass. And then as for the games leaving, um, I know. Shout out to Mr. Madness. We got to get you back on the show, Madness. But Bass Master Fishing 2022. I know he
Wait,
was in
Bass
this.
Master, is that the one where you're playing the guitar and you become a
No, it's
master at playing bass?
no the fishing game. Bassmaster.
Oh, that one. Okay, just making
Bassmaster.
sure.
Bassmaster. But I mean, otherwise, but I mean, if you are a Game Pass subscriber, Dan says Sniper Elite 4. If you don't have that yet or you haven't checked it out yet, please do so. That is a real good game. So,
What does the
that
audience think of Game Pass right now? That's what I'm curious about.
you want to know what I think of it?
No, I said the audience, not
Audio,
you. Yeah,
yeah, well, yeah. If anyone wants to chime in on what their thoughts on Game Pass is,
and its
leave it
current
in the
state.
comments in its
Yeah.
current state. Comment or just shoot us an email. Anyway, moving on, we got the PS5. We're gonna talk some controllers now. Ooh, one of my favorite subjects. The PS5 DualSense Edge controller and its price and when pre-orders are going to open up. The pre-orders will open up October 25th, and the controller itself will be released on January 26th, and it's going to be released at a whopping $199.99 or 209.99 in pounds for anyone overseas. Pretty much, it's a pretty sweet controller. Find us if you want to pull it up with the case and everything. Here's the full list of what you'll get. You'll get the DualSense Edge wireless controller, a USB braided cable, two standard caps that you can change out, two high dome caps, two low dome caps, two half dome back buttons, two lever back buttons, a connector housing, and of course a carrying case because Sony thinks that the PS5 is a Nintendo Switch and people will just take it wherever you go. Or you could just be going to a friend's house that has a PS5. I don't know, but I mean, well, however you want to play, whatever you want to play. I mean, it's here. Uh, it looks sweet. It's a great controller. I would love to have that controller. The only thing stopping me is the price. Finest. What are your thoughts on this?
I mean, d- I already knew you were going to say the price. I knew you say that.
You know me too well.
It's really no different than any of these other pro controllers that we've been seeing coming out from third parties. In terms of price, they're all $200, $250. So about I really don't have much to say there in regards to price. It's comparable. So I mean, if you weren't going to buy any of those pro controllers, you're definitely not going to buy this one. I think the best part about this one is it's made from Sony.
Yeah.
So you're getting a Sony third party. I'm sorry, a Sony first party product. So you kind of have expectations in terms of the feel, the look, everything that you're really getting. And it's gonna it's gonna work. In regards to how well it works, well, I guess we'll find out. I've been hearing nothing but good things. I mean, like I said, if you're into pro controllers, this is a great option. It's comparable with the Microsoft Elite Pro controller. You know, the Elite goes for 149, and then do like if you do the what's it called, the design labs with the Microsoft Pro Elite controller, and you start getting into that customization, then it goes for like I think believe 189. So it's comparable right there. But I mean, yeah, it's an option. Are most people going to buy it? No, but is it available to you? Yeah. So Dan, what do you? How do you feel? Are you into controllers?
I am, but I'm not. I don't know too much about PlayStation. I only know about the Xbox, to be truthful, because I've not had a PlayStation since the PlayStation 2. And then it's been
Oh,
Xbox all the way. So
right
it
on.
looks good. I just don't, from my point of view, do apologise if I offend anyone, but I don't understand the taking it apart bit. You know, you can actually take it apart and then put it in a bag and then carry it with you. You know, normally I just put my controller in my bag and that was it. I would take it with me
Mm.
wherever I go. If I'm going to my brother's house to play a game or something, I would do that. But that's
This is this is for your like these controllers in terms of like the options are really built for I feel like two audiences.
Hmm.
It could be
right.
definitely built considered for more, but it's going to be built for fighting games and shooters.
I
Um,
see.
Yeah,
yeah, so
not so
like
much racing
shooters,
games or any platformers.
yeah,
No.
yeah, you're not going to play it for your you're not really buying it for God of War.
No, no.
But like for like your Call of Duty, like as we were looking at the video, like there was like a tension switch for the actual triggers at the top. And then there's been
Mm,
contention in terms of like how do people like their bumpers at the top? You know, do they like them rounded? Do they like them
right.
like concave? And those are some of the options right there. Some people do prefer their buttons, their triggers like on the back, on the very back of the controller. So you have the
Oh,
options
I see.
to map your buttons
Yeah,
to the
yeah,
back because some people like it's easier just to hit those buttons on back. For fighting games, for fighting games, just being able to map your entire controller, and the same thing for the analog sticks. Me with fighting games, I wear all my analog sticks.
Mm.
For opening up a PlayStation controller, it is such a pain to replace your analog sticks. So just making it easy to just replace those, and then they have three different analog sticks that come with this PlayStation 5 Edge Pro controller. Where you do have the rounded or the concave or the yeah, you have the concave and
yeah.
convex ones, and then you
Yeah.
have the ones with the little bumps on the outside of it, like just for like making sure you have that grip. Um,
Right.
yeah, and so just stuff like that, like is really
So
great and
play it
convenient.
your way basically. That's what you're saying, isn't it? You just play it
Yeah,
how you like to. You
yeah,
know. So,
absolutely. Just having that ability to really just customize it how you
yeah.
like and be able to do a little bit more with controller is absolutely great. And it makes it so your controller isn't necessarily like a play it till it's dead, until it's worn out, and then you dump it because so many people do that. They'll play the analogs or sticks or their D-pad is sticky or whatever the case may be, and they're like, "Oh, I need a
Yeah.
new controller." Dump it. And so
Yeah.
this really allows you to like, oh, like something's not quite working right. I could literally open it up because it's meant to be opened. I can replace this trigger, I can replace this bumper, I can replace this D-pad,
Yeah.
and then I can keep on moving from there. So
Of
it's made for those
course.
type of people. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that. Yeah. What were you gonna say something, Dan?
Yeah, I was just about to say, do you think it's worth the price that they're asking for, or
No, no. My wife would kill me if I bought a $200 controller. Like,
I think it can be like if you are like if you're playing like on streams like on a daily basis, just having that extra comfort if you're playing competitively, or
Mm,
even
esports,
like
esports.
esports, or even
Yeah.
like just
yeah,
like just like not like competitively like in any league, but like if you're really good at Call of Duty, like and
yeah,
you're playing on PlayStation and you want to, even if you're playing on your PC and like you're able to like rack up like 50 kill games, like this is only going to improve your game. It's not going to hurt your game. So like for those people, yeah, I think it's totally worth it. For like your average consumer, no, it's not worth it. But I don't think it's
No.
meant for your average consumer.
But
It's
do you
meant
think
for
it
your
gives
hardcore.
people the unfair advantage if it improves the game a lot to
I
have one of
think
these
it gives
controllers?
Possibly, maybe.
I think it gives people an advantage. I don't think an unfair advantage, because it's if you really want to get good, you're going to get good. Like if you really
Yeah.
like if you're already that good, like does a controller help that much? No. If you suck and you buy a controller, is it going to help that much? No. You might be able to
Mm.
get like one or two extra kills in, but it's not gonna change the person who's playing.
Yeah. Well,
All good.
if you want one of these for Xbox, Dan, you're in luck because the Xbox Elite 2 controllers are now customizable in the Xbox Design Lab. So if you don't like the way it looks, you can send it to the Design Lab and they'll give you can switch out the D-pad, the buttons, the analog sticks. It's pretty much the same thing as the PS5 DualSense
No,
controller.
no, it's not.
Okay, maybe the price a little bit. Well, it's a little cheaper, but all right. But yeah, I mean, there it is, and
Mm.
the Elite controller. Yeah, the Elite 2 controllers for Xbox. I don't know. I'm looking at mine right now, and it. For those of you that are listening, I'm holding up my controller. Uh, yeah, I don't really see. I don't know. Just yeah. I can't. I mean, this is I think the newer Xbox controllers for the Series X and S that I recently got because Xbox just makes all their stuff the same, in my opinion. Like when it comes to their controllers, they're good controllers. Don't get me wrong, but
Well, it's the same thing with PlayStation. It's like you feel like you perfected something. Like, what
Mm.
improvements are you really gonna make?
yeah.
They're all going to be mild in nature. And Xbox feels like they've made the best controller. They're like, why change it a ton? Yeah,
Don't fix what's not broken. I suppose that's the
yeah,
case, isn't
yeah, exactly. If it's not broken, why fix it? Like, exactly.
All right. But yeah, but will I be getting this for my Xbox One S? No. I mean, and why? Because of the price. Uh, what
Gosh,
about
Justin, that just everything can't be about money, man.
yeah. Well,
Just
we'll see. One of these days, I'll get a high profile controller, and you'll be wowed
look
when
it.
I do.
If look, how many controllers do you have in that room with you right now?
Too many to count.
Exactly.
Ow.
Exactly. So if you just took like 3 of your basic controllers, you can buy one of these pro controllers. Like it's you rather buy like 20 regular controllers rather than like just one really good one. I'm on the opposite end. I will be investing in at least the Xbox Pro controller, or Elite 2 controller.
You
And
will
I
be
will
getting
be
this.
Yeah, and I will be doing a Design Labs one, and I'm gonna have my name on it. It's gonna say Our View Gaming, dash F Dabs, and then I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it with a whole bunch of different colors. And now they're even selling the additional pieces like the D pads and the analog sticks and the buttons. There you can actually purchase those separately. So like, man, if I get like some relatively like more common colors, like maybe I do like for my base color do a black, man, sky's the limit. I can change like everything, every aspect, and I'll be able to really play with that. So I rather do that. Like, I mean, I'll buy 2 basic controllers, and then I'll buy like one amazing controller, and I'll be playing the amazing controller, and then when my friends or my sons like want to play video games, they get the basic controllers. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Dan? I mean, you're an Xbox guy. Do
Mm.
you see any use for this, or it's not
If I
in
could
your
ever
budget?
afford it, I think I'd get one. Yeah. I don't collect the controllers, but I do have a couple myself, and I would like to get a nice proper controller like one of these elite ones. So I've never had one before, so it's just one of them things where it's on my bucket list to have
Right
like a
on.
proper controller. But the moment the price is a bit too high, so if I could save up for it, I might be able to get one. So, but we'll
Yeah.
see.
The
We'll see.
aftermarket on them is pretty cheap. Like if you like go third party and like try to buy one, like people are selling them. I mean,
Mm.
they're still not like super cheap, but like you can find them for at least like $100 US. So yeah, I don't know. Like it might be worth looking into. At the same time, you might end up with like a crappy controller, like
Yeah, yeah,
where like the battery's dead and like the buttons are sticky and broken. But
yeah.
it's kind of the trade off or the risk you
I
might
always
take.
like to buy the
Yeah.
proper Microsoft controllers though. Because like you say with the PlayStation, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
You're getting a proper controller. So
All right. Well, and enough with the controller talk. I mean, definitely. I still want to do a roundtable on controllers. I just love
Yeah.
talking
And
controllers.
I just have to mention real quickly, Matt Bliss is going off in the chat. He's on a tear right now.
What up, Matt?
Everything from popping jokes about just about are your fingers the hobby, everything just his opinion about Game Pass, and the things that you're getting with the PlayStation 5 controllers. We'll get to those at the end of the episode, but I definitely had to definitely had to mention it. Yeah, man, you're distracting me. You're distracting me. You stop it. Oh man. All right. Anyway, sorry.
Oh yeah,
Get my
love you, Matt. Love you, Matt. Moving on. So I guess Sakurai gives fans a glimpse of Super Smash Bros. 64 prototype, Dragon King. I guess before its original game. I guess it was what was it? A Dragon King fighting game. I saw some images of it. I didn't see the whole video, but it looked pretty interesting. And I guess that's a concept where Super Smash Brothers went. So I thought that was pretty unique of Sakurai to share on his YouTube channel. I don't really follow his YouTube channel, but I thought that was pretty cool. F man, what did you think of the of the prototype?
Yeah, I think it was actually pretty interesting. I'm actually surprised that like Sakurai was able to talk about like the creation of Smash Brothers, and just be able to put this video out on his YouTube channel. I think more importantly, he doesn't look exhausted in his
No.
video, where like every other time I've seen him like on a direct or talking about just anything he's done, primarily Smash Brothers, he's always looked like sickly and just like super tired. So
He
it
looks
was kind
good.
of, yeah, he looks a lot healthier now that he's kind of stopped production on Smash Brothers. But yeah, no, I found it interesting. I think it was a good video. I mean, yeah, finding out just the way games are made always interests me so much. And I always think it's fascinating and worth just worth a watch. Honestly, like based on the video, I would have said like Smash Brothers. Like if you would have showed this to me like prior to like Smash Brothers coming, I would have been like, oh, this game's never gonna exist. Like,
Yeah.
like this is not gonna be a thing. But yeah, surprisingly enough, I mean the way he and just the entire team at Nintendo pulled it together and brought us like the original Smash is absolutely incredible. And just looking at the quick interview about it, it seemed like Nintendo wasn't even sure about it. And so yeah, it's pretty insane.
Yeah, I mean, going back to that time, I mean,
Look at this. Like if
yeah,
you're a video watcher, like looking at just looking at the concept, it's absolutely incredible.
yeah, there were no items or special moves at the time, so pretty much all you did was fight. But I mean, I know some people who fight competitively on Smash Brothers that don't use items at all, and I'm sure they do it competitively also, like no items or anything like that. So, yeah, it was kind of a strange concept. I mean, I know when I first played it years ago, it was unlike any other fighting game I had ever played. It was the first of its kind, I want to
Hmm.
say. It could be,
Yeah.
yeah, it was. So, yeah, in terms of the style, not so much just the all-star Nintendo cast coming together. I think that's just what made it even funnier. But, but I mean, they had a winner here, and took off with Super Smash Brothers, Melee on the GameCube. So, and look where we are now. So, it would be nice to get some more characters. Sakurai, come on. Come on. I mean, I know you look good. I think you've rested enough. Let's give the people what they want. They want to see Waluigi. They want to see uh maybe Crash Bandicoot. I don't know, but I'm not just throwing guys out there. But Dan, did you ever play Smash Brothers or?
I've got a confession actually. I have never played a Smash Brothers game
Oh
in my
wow.
life. So no, yeah, I never really got a chance to. I have a Switch at the moment, but I've never downloaded it. It's kind of got lost in my mind of actually playing it. So I'm guessing it's a very good game then.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I'm not the biggest fighting game fan myself. But I mean, I think if you do have a Switch, it should be in every Switch. Anyone who has a Switch, it should be in your collection. It's just one of those games. I mean, I just had fun just going through the whole thing and just unlocking all the characters that are in the game. So, at least with Smash Bros. Ultimate. So, I mean, I had fun with it.
Yeah.
Now, other people who play it, they play it for real. They play it competitively. Like my
Mm.
brother, for example, he can still whip my butt at it, and it's just like, yeah,
Yeah, and I think that was like the thing that led to like Smash Brothers, like was like being able to play like 4 players all in one room, all off of one console. That really lent to its
Mm.
popularity. Being able to play a fighting game with 4 players all at the same time, was just like there was multi-tap and people like being able to play like fighters, like together and stuff, like, but it was usually 2 player. So just having like this 4 player game with like Nintendo mascots and main characters, and what like the roster was huge, even
yeah,
for, I mean, even for 64 days, like it was a good
yeah.
size
It was
roster.
12
um
characters. That was a lot of people,
yeah,
characters.
and having it be like completely 3D, even if it was on a 2D plane, was pretty actually revolutionary at the time. Like it was something that was no one else was doing. And yeah, just to have like this brawler that's like this, it was doing a lot of novel things, and on top of that you can do it with your friends. So like, not everyone had to have the game. Pretty much like you can go over to a house and you don't have to like, pass controllers, but just to have like you and 3 of your best friends playing this game and picking your favorite characters from like Nintendo, was, yeah, it was great. It was pretty awesome. So I would say it's a must have. If you're like one of these people that like playing like as in groups, if you're like a single player person, um like, and you like your single player games, then it's probably not the best game for you. But other than that, man, it was a pretty awesome game.
Yeah, it was the time when you went around your friend's house and you actually played a game all sat together.
Hmm.
Not like online now where it's all at one at each house kind of thing. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, I have to make that mission next time you see me. I will have played Smash Brothers.
Oh,
That
what,
is
he
my
said
goal.
that he
he's
said,
gonna play it. He's
the
gonna play it.
the
You better
audience
tell
is
us in the
gonna,
Discord. You better tell
yeah.
us in the Discord if you. Yeah, but for real, if you haven't played it, definitely
Mm,
play it. You're
I
in for
will
a
give
good
it a go.
time. Yeah, yeah, definitely. All right. So enough of the trip down memory lane talk. We got more of that coming later. But first, let's talk about. Well, I guess we are going down memory lane with this story. EA announces server closures for 4 games. I think there are 4 games that no one's really playing. NBA Jam on Fire Edition, Gatling Gear, Shank 2, and Mirror's Edge. Those online services will be shutting down on January 19th. Um, with the exception of NBA Jam on Fire Edition, I don't really care about the other 3 games, but I mean they're old. I mean they've been around for a minute, so
Ooh,
uh,
blasphemy. You just, man, I can't believe you just said that.
they're
Did you read the games? There's Mirror's Edge in there, man.
oh yeah, yeah. What where? Well,
Mirror's Edge. What do you mean where? It says right there. Oh my gosh. Mirror's Edge is
oh
a game that's near and dear to my heart. I love that game. I don't care about the online necessarily, but a Mirror's Edge 2, where they did have the online, and you can there was a whole bunch of like abstract levels in terms of like DLC that they added later. Those levels are just like so much fun. And the leaderboards and everything being there were pretty awesome. Yeah, and even in the first one, like the first one was pretty awesome also. So yeah, just that so good. I mean, I'm not really big on Gatling gears or Shanks too, but Mirror's Edge is, I think, the notable game out of these 4 games. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've played a bit of Mirror's Edge. Like I said, I've not really played the other three, but Mirror's Edge is kind of like it's a good game. I think I played
Hmm.
it first on the Xbox One, so it was yeah, but I've not played it for years. It's been one of them games where I've never really gone back to, but yeah, still a
Yep.
good game, and very sad about the closure of them on the EA servers.
Yeah,
So
this isn't a game that I played online too much. I mean, like I played it when it came out, but I'm not sad about it, them closing down the servers. Long as I can still play my game, long as
yeah, definitely.
long as it
Yeah,
doesn't have to ping to a server and I'm still able to play it. That's all that matters.
yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, definitely. Well, I guess I should try Mirror's Edge then. I mean, you guys both raved about it, so we'll see if I can find it. If it's on the PS3, I'll definitely try to give it a find.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so sounds good. All right, so moving on. Halo Infinite. I'm guessing. Well, Finance, I know you don't play it. Dan, do you play Halo Infinite?
No, I don't play Halo, mate.
No, man, why do you guys have Xboxes? I mean, isn't that the game that y'all wanted to play? Like when you got the Xbox, Halo Infinite.
I did play
I've
it. Oh, what were you gonna say? I did play it.
no,
Like,
I never
yeah.
really. I've never really had a go at it. Quite truthful,
Well, I'm
but
not talking about the previous games. I'm just talking about this one for the Series
mm.
X and S. But I
So,
guess, what were you
oh
trying to say?
no, I was gonna ask you what's going on with this update.
All right, so I guess a winter update will be dropping next month. According to the 343, the winter update, which will release on November 8th. November 8th, isn't that a key day there? November 8th, wasn't
Hmm.
that the day that was we're supposed to see a certain
Yep.
game come out that I'm not going to mention.
Hmm.
Let's see. So, with that being said, the 24 recently announced that new Halo Infinite achievements, mostly aligned with each of the missions. So you'll have a good reason to return to them if you like to nab the completion. Outside of the campaign, highly anticipated Forge mode will be added in a beta state. Okay. Offering you a multi of ways to create your own maps, game modes, rule sets, and more. 343i has slowly been drip feeding us nuggets of info into Forge fundamentals updates, but you should check out some of the incredible creations that some of the players have done. So looks like it's a update, but neither of you guys play the game. But I mean, does this update give people that were playing the game a reason to go back to the game?
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff here, and people have been for this game have been begging for Forge, like for like the longest time, especially with the drought of maps that they've had for the multiplayer. People are just like, "Give me Forge, I'll make my own maps." Since like 343 isn't giving them to me, so Forge, it's coming out in beta. If you haven't looked at the YouTube videos, please go look at those YouTube videos. They do like the people that are able to take the tools that 343 is giving them and make the things that they are it's absolutely bonkers. I honestly I think the maps that people are making are in some respects better than the maps that 343 is even provided. And then the last map, the last I think the last 2 maps that they've released were maps that they made in Forge mode. So just having that like accessibility to the audience is absolutely going to be incredible. But yeah, the game needed an update. It's been
Mm.
it's been a long time. There's only been, I believe, one other update other than this one. But yeah, I mean, the fact that we're finally getting we're finally getting co-op is really big. So I know there was a lot of controversy. We talked about it earlier that they're not doing couch co-op. But since then of course all the users found the glitch in order to play co-op regardless. So it was obviously already incorporated in Halo, but 343 decided not to finish it so they can focus on particularly this update. And I'm sure because if you look at Halo's numbers, I mean it's dropped. It's just kind of fallen off the map. So they need these modes. They need these additional maps. They need the new battle pass. They need Forge mode to really revitalize this game because this is supposed to be a games as a service, and only having two updates in about a year in about a year's time is
Yeah.
is
That's not good.
crazy. And having 6 months battle passes, having only released a couple maps in that time, I mean people have really sucked this game dry within like a month of it coming out, and just in its current state it's not fun. It's not fun to play. So looking for I'm kind of being pessimistic on it, but I'm looking forward to all these updates because I do want to play this game. Like Halo was so much fun playing online, playing with my friends. So I'm looking forward to just what the future brings, and I hope they are able to bring it and bring it at a more consistent rate because right now it's not acceptable.
Yeah, yeah. The fans of the series deserve better. If it wasn't ready, they shouldn't have put it out, in my opinion. But
Yeah.
I know, I know we clown Xbox for this a lot. I mean, they have how many studios and how many original IPs that a lot of people can get behind. So, um, hopefully it improves for them. I mean, I want to see them do well. I want to see everyone do well. So, yeah, that definitely. With that being said, we can do that. Uh, all right, Dan, do you have anything on that?
No, no. But before you go to the next topic, I'm just gonna have to say I'm gonna have to go because it's 5:30 and I'm getting tired. So I'm gonna have to leave you there if that's okay.
All right, no
Totally
worries,
fine,
man.
man. Thank
So
you.
lovely to talk to you and all that, but I've got to go to bed.
Take it easy, man.
It's
No worries.
calling. Right. Cheers, guys. Thank you very much.
No problem. We'll see you in the
See you.
Discord.
See you in the Discord. And that was Dan. Thank you for joining us, Dan. We really appreciate it. All right, so you know what? I missed the story, so let's backtrack a little bit. Let's go to the while we're still on the Xbox. A lot of Xbox news this week. Xbox Activision government. So I thought this was kind of funny. um, looks like whoever in the UK government is really investigating this Xbox Activision buyout deal, and now they're at the point where they are asking for public opinion. I just wanted to comment on this real quick. I don't think that this is a good idea to ask the public on their opinion about a big I forget the price of the buyout, but $1 billion buyout. We'll just say, um, do I think it's going to go through? Yes, I think people are out there to stop it. Like Jim Ryan's out there to stop it. Especially with the whole Call of Duty thing. And then what other reports saying that Nintendo doesn't count because they're a family-friendly console. Um, so I mean, with that being said, just I think it's a little funny at this point that they're trying to get public opinion, and maybe they'll take it to Twitter, and maybe maybe we'll get some intelligent answers. Maybe they'll just get a bunch of trolls, which I think usually if you ask for public opinion, that's what's bound to happen. What are your thoughts on this whole deal? Trying to get a public opinion.
Yeah, no. You know what? I this is there's a lot going on here. It's really. Oh, just to answer your question, I think it's actually a good idea for the CMA to get the public involved, because I mean the CMA is honestly I don't even know if they have the power to stop this. I mean they are a government entity in the UK, So like they're an independent non-ministerial department, and they're overseen by a board of high-ranking people, throughout the government and in the UK. And it's led by like the chief executive and senior teams in the UK. So yeah, like I think in terms of like maybe when things are passed and things are investigated, I think they oftentimes don't see video game acquisitions as part of that. So what they're used to, so they probably don't have a good idea of what buyouts have happened, what is necessarily good for the industry, what how the industry is going to really be affected by this. So I think if the public can give them a better sense and a better idea of like, is this really going to affect affect the gaming industry as a whole? I think it's smart for them to get those outside opinions before they make a decision you know, where they're not knowledgeable in. And so I think that's smart, but in the same respect, like it's already passed in Brazil. It hasn't gone through the US systems yet, the FTC and stuff like that. So only time will tell. I think this is gonna go through. I think what caveats and what restrictions and things of that. I definitely think there's gonna be some things that they're gonna have to do. I think we'll maybe see Call of Duty on PlayStation longer than we might expect.
Hmm.
And yeah, the funny part about this is like we're not talking about like Overwatch. Like, Overwatch isn't mentioned in this. What's it called? Diablo isn't mentioned in this.
No,
They're strictly talking about Call of Duty, which I think is kind of funny just in looking at this entire
you
deal.
know,
Um,
it
yeah,
sells. I mean, it's not the greatest game, but it sells every year. So
yeah,
I mean, do I think this will go through? Yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't. I mean, I think it might be a little harder for it to go through. It doesn't seem like a not that it was a slam dunk to begin with, but I think they're gonna have to go through a little more hurdles than they thought. But I think it will go through. So I
yeah.
just missed
This is
article
just part
there.
of their
Yeah,
investigation. Yeah.
yeah. They're just doing their due diligence. But I mean, like I said, I think we'll just see something with Call of Duty. Uh, definitely, it'll probably be on PlayStation a lot longer than they anticipate. So, all right. So, are you ready to party like it's 1999? I know we were just talking about a 1999 game a little bit ago, but Mario Parties 1 and 2 will be on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack on November 2nd, my birthday. Woohoo. This isn't so yes, Nintendo continues to update its online service by adding more Nintendo 64 games. And they also are doing other things too, like Nintendo 64 icon elements. Because, I love the Nintendo 64 so much that I just want a Nintendo 64 icon. Nah, not really. But, and then also on that day, it looks like let's see, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Looks like the Booster Pass Wave 3 will feature 8 courses. Um, let's see, it looks like there's no information of when it's coming at this time. But right now, yeah, just the two Mario Party games coming November 2nd. Did you remember playing the first two Mario Party games?
Yeah, yeah. I always loved Mario Party. It was very much one of the few reasons why I wanted Nintendo consoles, why I wanted a 64, why I wanted a Wii. Was to play Mario Party with friends.
Yeah, it's definitely a good time.
Yeah,
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 it's a good
but
game.
I think it's awesome that it's coming to Switch Online. I'm assuming it's gonna have online features.
Yeah, yeah,
So
you will be able to play online and
yeah,
co-op or against your friends, however you like to play the game. Mario Party 2, I think, was the best of the original three on the 64. I had the
Yeah.
first Mario Party, if you remember. So I mean, hopefully you guys are using a safe controller. You might want to pull out those Mario Party gloves. That tug of war video, that tug of war mini game, man. I have so many blisters from that. Yeah, that was no joke. They weren't kidding when they say put on those gloves. Yeah, and I'm sure there will be a warning there saying, "Hey, play this game with caution." But yeah, just a little update on the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. November 2nd, Mario Party 1 and 2 will be on the service, and you gotta admit, I mean, since the service has come out, I think you're getting more bang for your buck with the more games you're putting on there. They got a GoldenEye coming, they got Mario Party 3 eventually coming. We already got Pilot Wings.
Honestly, for me, I'm glad that they're bringing all these old games and making them more available to people. I mean, they're if you're paying the $20 or what is it now? What would it go up to? $50?
50 if you have the
50?
expansion pack. I think it's still 20 if you're
Yeah.
just doing the basic.
Yeah, I still feel like Nintendo's kind of banking on this, because they're not giving any they're not giving you any new games. They're not updating their interface, or like just their overall structure of the online. I think it's still pretty much trash. So I don't know. I think I think it depends who you are. I know Pilot Wings just recently released for Switch Online,
Yeah,
and that released with upgraded graphics. They've
yeah.
actually improved the graphics on that one, and I hear it's running like trash. Like
Oh.
I heard it's a dumpster fire. So yeah, I don't know if you're getting your bang for your buck. That I guess that's for each their own, but I I still don't think it's worth it, but that's my personal opinion. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there with Switch Online that are enjoying the service a ton.
Yeah, there is, and I mean, I enjoy it. I mean, I don't play it every day, but I mean, I think it's something to have if
When's
you
the last time you did play it?
on the Switch Online.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe like a month or two ago.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
yeah. In terms of the old games, actually, no, I'll take that back. I played it last month. I like to play the puzzle game Pokemon Puzzle League,
Okay.
similar to Tetris Attack. It's actually really
Yeah.
fun,
We
actually.
talked about that one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good game.
Yeah, that's like the only game I've been playing on there lately. If I do play, at least on the N64 side of things, but lately for like my SNES and NES, I've been either firing up my NES Mini or just playing, the Super NT to play any Super NES games. And
Yeah, I wish they would have made just a Nintendo 64 Mini. I would have loved that so much more.
you would have gotten that for sure.
Yeah.
You would have.
Oh
Okay,
yeah.
just making sure. Well, you do have an N64 in the background, so yeah, I believe
Yeah.
you would have gotten one. So yeah, definitely. So we'll stick with the Switch for a minute, and looks like another game came to the Switch that is not running very good. Alan Wake remastered on the Switch. It's running like trash, as you would say. Yeah, the reports have not been good with this game coming out, and I hear it's actually on the level of WWE 2K18 for the Switch, and that game never got fixed. So the only thing we can hope for this one is that they fix it. So I mean, Alan Wake remastered. If you are gonna play this game, what are you playing it on? PS4 or your Xbox? Not the Switch.
yeah, I would play it on PS4, or PS5, or my Series X. My Series X be, of course, the best place to play this game
Mm.
because just the way like it, it looks on the Switch, man, it's pretty rough compared to if you're comparing it to the PlayStation 5 or even the PlayStation 4 version. It's really rough around the edges. It doesn't look like the same game, honestly. It just really doesn't. So as you can see on screen, we're showing the game right now. It might not look horrible to you, but if you look at the PlayStation 5 version or the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 4 version, it's just night and day.
Oh boy,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
that's even tough to look at for me. I mean, I'm a Switch fan. I'm not a fanboy of the Switch, but I mean, I like playing games what I can on the Switch. but it's definitely not for everything. And yeah, they didn't get it right here. This game, yeah, it's if it is in the category of WWE 2K18, oh boy, and that was bad. We all know
Hmm.
that was very bad, and the fact that
Yep.
they didn't fix it was even worse, or give people their refunds. That was horrible. Um, but yeah, just definitely just if you are gonna play Alan Wake Remastered, if you have to play it on the Switch, then by all means. But if you can play it somewhere else, please play it somewhere else.
Yeah.
All right. Let's I'll let you take this story away, Finest, because I know you're very excited about it. God of War Ragnarok preview. Spoilers, impression. You wanna jump into this one because I know you're really excited about this game and you'll have a lot more to say about it than I would.
Yeah, really, you gotta let me know. No, I've been avoiding the
Oh,
spoilers.
okay.
I've been trying to stay away from articles. I haven't even watched the new trailer
Oh,
because I don't want to see what's going on. I know that right now, all these like all the different companies I know, like Kotaku, GameSpot, IGN, Forbes, Polygon, Washington Post, Game Informer, Reset Era, um, all these different companies have recently got a vertical slice of God of War Ragnarok, where they got to play the first 4 to 5 hours of the game. And gosh, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. I wish our little podcast could have it. What I've heard so far, and this is like me, like just taking like little snippets of like the articles that we've of course prepared for this episode, is that the game is awesome. So far,
so far.
that vertical slice is awesome. They said like don't miss the first hour. They said like the first hour and a half of that game, like set aside plenty of time to play the game, to really take it and enjoy it. They say like that hour and a half of that vertical slice like dives you in like every other God of War. Like there are some epic moments that happen that really set you up for the rest of the game. Um, let's see, what else did I hear? Yeah, I heard like you should play the first God of War. If you haven't played the first God of War, you definitely should. They do provide you with a quick intro, very much like they did The Last of Us, to catch you up and remind you of everything that happened in the original God of War. So you don't have to necessarily go back and play it, but you definitely should. Um, yeah, and
The
yeah,
way it
like
looks, yeah, yeah, definitely 30 frames per second or 60 frames on your 4K TV, just definitely.
hmm
Yeah, so I hear it looks good. Yeah, I did not finish the God of War for the PS4, so I probably should finish that if I am going to jump into it. That's why this is not on my radar, unfortunately. I mean, but I'm sure I'll be hearing this a lot from you toward the end of the year, especially when we get into our games of the year. If I should definitely play it or not, if I should, dust off the dust on God of War and just pop it in and just finish it off.
hmm
I mean, how much
yeah.
more you got to go with God of War?
Um, I don't know. Probably, I would say probably like 5 hours.
5 hours left. Okay, so you've gone
Yeah,
through
some.
that much.
I think I don't know. That's just a guess. I would say I'm probably 15 hours in right now. I don't know
It's only a
with
20.
the.
It's only a 20-hour game, right? It's not that long.
Okay, okay,
I
yeah.
mean, I think. Yeah.
Then I shouldn't have too much longer. I know there's some side content. I'm trying to like kind of burn through the game as quickly as possible. But yeah, I you know what I'm really excited. I'm excited to play with the Blades of Chaos again. You know, I, from what I understand, like the new God of War Ragnarok is just gonna have improvements all around. You know, like you mentioned a second ago, like if you have a PlayStation 5, you can play at 60 frames per second. So that does make me kind of sad because I'll be playing on a PS4 if I do pick it up, or not if, when I do pick it up, I'll only be playing at 30 frames per second. But even on the PlayStation 4, it looks gorgeous. I think people's biggest worry is like, is the PS4 holding it back? And I think that's like a
Oh,
big, I think that's a big worry for a lot of people. I honestly, I think with this game, it's going to be like the last God of War on PlayStation 4. I do think it's possibly maybe held it back a little bit, but I don't think it's like, I don't think it held it back in terms of story. I don't think it held it back in terms of gameplay really. I think it just really probably
performance.
performance, yeah. And I think maybe there's some things like that were on the cutting table that we won't see until the next game because of it. But I think the game is going to be absolutely incredible regardless. I don't think it's really going to take away, or I don't think it's going to be a noticeable a noticeable takeaway. I think wherever you experience this game, I think it's still just going to be an absolute delight. I think you're gonna shed tears. I think you're gonna laugh. I think you're gonna just have fun. I can't wait. I can't wait to play this game. I can't wait to finish this one, original God of War, so I can play this game.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, I mean, if I ever finish it, I will definitely be there with you, and get God of War, Ragnarok, either at the full price or a greatest hits, a greatest hits price at $10. I mean, that's how I got Horizon Zero Dawn. I got that greatest hits there, and that was only like $10. So, so I mean, I do like getting those greatest hits later on for the PlayStation. Um, so that was very good. So, God of War Ragnarok coming out next month for the PS5. All right, so let's talk remakes. And I know Silent Hill fans are excited as the Silent Hill 2 remake has been revealed. We saw some gameplay footage, and it's going to be a PS5 exclusive. So, sorry to anyone who has a Series X or S or Xbox One or PS4 even. Um, yeah, so it looks like that Konami finally came out of the vault and they just said, "Hey, we're gonna remake this game." And the only thing we can hope for now is if they're giving this the treatment. I don't know if they're doing this to try to compete with Capcom and Resident Evil, which we'll talk about next. But I mean, they have a lot in their vault that they could do. I mean, maybe we'll see something with Metal Gear. Maybe. I mean, we can only hope, right? They
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
lot. I mean, like. Yes, like Konami finally showed up with a game, a remake, but a game. I mean, well, you got to give them a little credit. I mean, they did license out Digital Foundry to do the Cowabunga collection after we found out
Hmm.
what mess that was in. So were able to get that, and just the Castlevania thing. They put the advanced collection out a little over a year ago now. So they've been doing like collections of some of their old games, but this. Well, what I've seen so far with this, when I saw some of the sneak previews, this looks like like a winner here. I mean, I'm not really into the horror games all that much, but I I, I wouldn't mind playing this on my PS5.
Yeah.
Yeah. What were your thoughts? What were your initial impressions?
I think it was a nice surprise. Like,
Yeah, it was a
you know,
surprise. It
yeah,
was
like,
rumored, but you didn't think it was going to happen.
yeah, no, absolutely. And that's the thing. Konami, you just really don't know what they're doing. You don't really know what they're up to. And so it's good. It's exciting to see that they're not making games themselves, but they're still interested in making money off their games because they do have some of the most iconic, like the most iconic IPs like out there. It's sad. It's sad that it's Konami that are making pachinko machines. Because that's like you do want these titles out there, and you do want to be able to play them. So I'm happy that the Bloober team is getting to make a Silent Hill game. They also made the Medium, which
Hmm.
I think is was came out to mild reception. Like it came out to people that were relatively interested, and the medium was an okay game from the people that we know that played it. Yeah, so I think this is going to be cool. I believe pretty sure that they're using Unreal Engine 5 is what I remember seeing.
I would hope. I would hope. Just real Unreal Engine 5. I know when we saw that video like a month or two back, then that looks sweet, man. So I would
Yeah.
hope that they're using that.
Yeah, and I wasn't like the biggest fan of this
Hmm.
originally, but I mean, this is good for all the horror fans out there. You know, I I know we already know that it's a PlayStation 5 exclusive, a timed exclusive, and I know that
Yeah,
that pissed a lot of people off. A lot of
it
people
sure
were upset by
did.
that, but you have to remember, Silent Hill was originally a PlayStation 5 exclusive. Anyway, or not PlayStation 5, a PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I would not be surprised if Sony reached out to Konami and made this happen. So,
yeah,
to be upset that PlayStation is getting this game first, and I believe they said about a year. It's going to be a time exclusive for a year. You can't be too mad at them. I'm sure if
no,
like Microsoft would have reached out with a handful of money and was like, "Hey, can you make this game happen?" Like Konami would have jumped on it too. But
yeah, definitely. So I mean,
uh,
you're just gonna have to wait. I'm
who
sorry.
knows? Yeah, if we who knows if this game would even exist if it weren't for PlayStation. We don't know, or maybe it
Yeah.
would have. And maybe Sony just like knew, like they reached out to them and asked like Konami, like, "Hey, what are you working on?" Like, "Oh, Silent Hill." Like, that came out on PlayStation first. Like, can we get a time exclusive for like a little extra? So yeah, I'm interested to see what this brings. I'm not super excited for it, but I know a lot of people that are. So
Mhm.
yeah, bring it. It's another game that really hits on nostalgia for a lot of people, and I know those characters, Pyramid Head and the and the nurse, are very iconic to these series. So bring them back. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, Silent Hill wasn't my cup of tea back in the day either, but I mean, it looks sweet. I mean, I definitely would try it out, depending upon, how it's looking closer to the date and everything. But I mean, I know a lot of people who, weren't the happiest when they found out this was going to be a PlayStation 5 timed exclusive. So, um, but I mean, we'll definitely see what happens down the stretch with this one. So, another remake that's coming out in the same, I guess, genre of games from, I guess, one of Konami's competitors, Capcom. Resident Evil 4 remake. They showed us some gameplay this week, and um, it also, like Silent Hill, looks pretty good for the most part. And I guess if you have the PlayStation VR 2, you will get special content when your headset arrives. There's still no date on that, but the game itself comes out March 24th, 2023. It's going to come out for the PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and the PC with via Steam. So, are you interested in picking up Resident Evil 4 remake?
yeah. This one I'm a lot more excited about. I mean, just even with the trailers,
Hmm.
since both these games were like not announced, but they were shown this week.
Yeah,
The
same day
trailer,
actually.
yeah, the trailer was so much more exciting for me for Resident Evil. I was like, yes. I was like, this is amazing. I never finished the original Resident Evil 4. I played it on the GameCube, so I just never got through it. Back then it didn't feel great to me playing on the GameCube, but I'm just glad that they're remaking it. When talking about the game and when announcing it, they said they're going to ramp up the horror. Even though this is a remake, it's not going to be like a one-to-one remake. It's not going to be like a completely fixed camera. It'll still be third person. But yeah, just the AI is going to be better. And I'm just happy that it's not going to be a complete rehash. Even though like because we already got a remake of Resident Evil 4. So
Mm,
just thinking about like what they did with Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3, and then now they're going to make this and do that same treatment with like the new graphics, and and it's gonna be on PlayStation VR too. Oh my gosh, like this is gonna be absolutely amazing. I'm just really excited about this, and I can't wait to play it. I think it's gonna be awesome.
yeah. So is Konami taking a page out of Capcom's book on just remaking their old games like Resident Evil or like Silent Hill in their case? You think they're
No, I don't think so.
you don't think so? You think that the studio approached them and then they're just like, all right, we're just gonna remake the game, or maybe they're trying to get some traction.
So
Hopefully,
a lot of people think like Konami has not been making games, and I've already said this in prior episodes, but Konami, like they still been releasing games. Like they've been releasing collections and stuff like that.
yeah,
I think they kind of like after the whole Kojima thing,
yeah,
like I I think that like kind of soured them like just working on games. So I think they just kind of like dialed it down a little bit. I mean, if you look at their stocks and you look at like how they've been doing, like they haven't been like losing money. They've only been making more money.
yeah.
So I
They're
think
doing well. I mean, they're
they're
not
they're
like in a
doing
dump.
well.
Yeah, they're not
Yeah,
looking to be sold or anything. I know that for a
yeah,
fact.
yeah. Not even close. So just just with the things that they're doing, like with them like kind of taking a more backseat and them like leasing out their IPs, and having other studios making. I think they're actually making really smart decisions, really business wise decisions. So yeah, I think this is only going to. I think Konami is gonna they're doing well, and I think this is only going to lead to their credibility. And if they do want to jump back in the gaming market at a later point, I think this is only going to solidify that. But as of right now, like yeah, like lease out your games and have other developers make them have, and then get paid in the meantime. And why sell them when you can lease them out,
Yeah,
like, and you still own it, and then you make a cut, the other people like get a percentage also, and yeah, it's great. So
yeah. Konami still needs to fix that online on the Cowabunga collection though. That's just yeah. But they say they're going to, so we'll see what happens.
yeah,
Well, I
they
guess
said they're
Citadel
yeah, they're gonna
Foundry will,
release an
but
update. Yep.
yeah. So, but I mean, definitely, if you're a fan of horror games, you got two coming out to look forward to: Resident Evil 4 remake, Silent Hill 2 remake, and it should hit the nostalgia point for you guys.
Yeah, what about those other Silent Hill announcements as I'm seeing in our chat?
Oh yes, Silent Hill Townfall was announced, and Silent Hill F, which is I believe a series set in the 1960s Japan. Silent Hill Ascension, Return to Silent Hill. Those were also announced. Thank you, Matt, for the clear up there. Didn't want to forget about those.
Yeah.
uh, all right. Let's see. So with that being said, we go into our video game spotlight. We're going to talk about a couple of games here. One that is not doing well on the Metacritic charts, and other one that is doing pretty well on the Metacritic charts. It seems like I just like doing these, just whether the good, the
Oh,
bad.
gaming highlights are some of my favorite topics. I hope everyone else that's out there watching this episode is enjoying them also,
Yeah. Oh, so we're calling it gaming highlights, or okay,
or whatever it's called. I don't know.
gaming spot. I just call it
Gaming
game
spotlight,
spotlight, but
whatever. I don't know. I
but
don't
yeah.
even know the name of this show. What show are we on?
All right, so we'll start with the first game. We'll start with the bad first. And this was a game I was looking forward to until it came closer and closer and closer, and then yeah, once the ratings came out, I just backed off. Gotham Knights, and where do we start? The Metacritic score is 66, and that's not very good. User score 6.1. and that's on the PC version of this. I think it's a little higher on the PS5 version. Yeah, it's a 69 on the PS5 version of this game, and I've heard a lot of mixed things. I've heard some people say, "Hey, this should be one of the Game of the Year contenders." This is probably one of the worst Batman or Batman games I've ever played. I'll just call it a Batman game, even though he's dead in this universe here. But from what I've seen so far, it just seems like it's just a bunch of button mashing and yeah, the gameplay I feel is just all over the place, and if I were to pick up this game, I think it would just be a bad purchase, especially for how much is it going for? 59 or 69?
Yeah, it's 59.99. Yeah.
59, yeah, for a $60 game. It's just I feel that it just I would not be satisfied with this. I think this game could have come out
Hello?
the
Oh, you froze there for a second. What was that? You
oh,
feel like
oh
this game?
I feel like it could have been a little better, and I hope when the Suicide Squad game's out next year that it's a lot better than this one. So I mean, I still want to give it a chance. I'm just I'll wait for a Black Friday deal or just wait till it like becomes $20 or something, or whenever it goes on sale. But I mean, with a Metacritic score like that, I mean, I wouldn't recommend anyone buying a game at full price. I mean, I didn't buy Saints Row. I don't got that one yet, and I'm being very picky with my games. I'm a hardworking man. Just I want to make sure that I work hard for my money. So when I do buy a game, I want to make sure it's a good game. So I mean, I was hoping that it was going to be better. The more I saw, but it's just like the more I saw, it was kind of the opposite. I mean, how do you feel, Finest?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I mean, that I just seeing the trailers initially. I mean, this game kind of deterred a lot of people. And I think the trailers like revealed a lot to a lot of people. And that's when people really started to get kind of skeptical about what this game is actually going to provide. And then, even after the trailers, like having like numbers, like having like the damage numbers above people's heads was kind of like another red flag.
Yeah.
Um yeah, so you could already kind of see like where this game was going, and then they kind of like came back and they're like, oh, you can turn that stuff off. Awesome. You can turn that stuff off. And then they came with the the gameplay impressions that they allowed, like everyone to play game prior to it coming out. And very much it was like here's the systems, and then we got to see like the systems where the crafting systems and things of that nature, and the combo and the gameplay. And with those systems, like you very much saw like you had to find materials through the levels, and the costumes are locked like behind all these different things. And then you saw like the traversal was also locked behind arbitrary walls, or even moving to new levels. Like if you wanted to go to like the next level, like you couldn't because you weren't high enough level. So I mean, there's just a lot of like poor gameplay decisions, but I think the most disappointing, like the like, the biggest issue of all is the combat.
Yeah,
Like the
that's
combat
that's, that's what
itself.
got me. The combat.
And gosh, like it, it's just kind of strange that like they took the combat, and with Batman Arkham Knights and Batman Arkham City, kind of just delivering such good like
Yeah,
counter based combat where you're
I
playing.
loved it.
Yeah, and
I
even like
loved it.
Spider-Man, like
Yeah,
Spider-Man
Spider Man.
copied
Yeah,
that
it
combat.
was like the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so many other games like copied that combat to like kind of do something similar but not something better, to like to
Yeah.
take it and almost like wash it out. I don't know if it was to make it more accessible to people, or what the like decision was when like taking like Rocksteady's initial combat and kind of tweaking it in the ways that they did, where it's like less satisfying than than it originally was in those older iterations of these games, is just so strange to me. And part of that might because it's 4 player, like you have 4 different players, so you have to like kind of think of like how you can make the game playable with all 4 different characters, and make it like
Mm,
like an easy transition. I really feel like we saw like a similar thing with Marvel's Avengers. Like
yeah,
Marvel's Avengers, like even though it was you're 1 player, you got to play with all the just different characters, and really thinking about how you can play as Iron Man, and you can play as Miss Marvel, and you can play with Black Panther, you can play with Spider-Man. It did not translate well. So I think
no,
we're seeing
not at
a
all.
lot of that same issues with this game. So one of the things I feel like they could have did to like solve for that is make it just 1 player, or make it like your Nightwing this level, and then your Robin this level, rather than trying to make it like
Yeah, I don't think it needed to have co-op. I know that's what some people were excited about, but
yeah.
I mean, not all games like this need to be co-op. I mean, you can have a great discussion about a great game just fine if it's 1 player. Look at Spider-Man, for example. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
It's just sad. I think is the
yeah,
biggest takeaway from this. It's sad that a game that everyone was so excited for. We were talking about this game in February or
yeah,
March. Was it
we
March?
yeah,
February,
Mark,
March when
yeah,
they
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We were excited about this game, and now it's out, and it's just like another nail in the coffin for 2022 in terms of video games. I mean, I hate to
Yeah.
say it, but yeah, just I
I just
mean,
really hope they look at this game, and when they're looking at like Suicide Squad, because Suicide Squad was delayed, and it's
mm,
supposed to be very much like a 4 person type of game. I don't know if it's for I don't know if it's a co-op game, or if you're 1 player and you get to switch off between the 4 players. I'm not quite sure that aspect offhand, but I really hope they take a hard look at Suicide Squad and like, okay, we cannot do what Arkham Knights did, and how could
yeah,
we avoid that?
yeah. I mean, hopefully, if they have if in this game what we've seen, if they have that plan for the Suicide Squad, they need to go back to the drawing board. I wouldn't even mind the game being delayed again. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. If it takes another delay, please delay it. Like, because I mean, I'm
just
not picking up this game now. Like, there's no,
no.
like, even if it goes on sale, like
There are a lot
I'm
of
not
better games
interested.
out there. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
even like I'd only get it on sale if I can get like a 2 for 1 or something at this point. I mean, which I don't think I'll get on Black Friday, but maybe just sometime down the line. But it's not on my radar for this year.
Yeah,
But one
I would
game
need
that
a. Oh, I'm sorry.
oh no, you're good. What'd
Oh,
you
I
say?
was just gonna say I would need like a No Man's Sky like redemption story. Like I would need
Yeah.
like 2 3 years down the line, like of them supporting this game and making fixes.
Hmm.
And if it ends up in a great state at that point, then I'd be willing to dive in. But at this juncture, no way. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. Well, one game that kind of took its place, and it is on my radar, not only because I have a Nintendo Switch, but I hear that, well, this game, from what I've seen, is actually good. And it got better and better the more and more I've seen, and that is Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope on the Nintendo. Ubisoft put out a good game here. Its Metacritic score is 86, and its user score is an 8.2. So what they did, they redid some of the combat for this game, and what I like about it a lot is it's like more like free roaming now. It's not like you're in a straight line like you were in the previous game, even though that was fun. But at the same time, they just made it more. They made it more freer, in my opinion. The characters, obviously, just the same characters. You got Rabbit, Princess Luna, added to that batch of characters now, and Oh, believe it or not, Bowser's on your side again. Wow. So, so that's pretty cool. I mean, I've liked what I've seen so far, and actually, I may just pick up buy, I may just go out and buy this thing. $60. I mean, I don't see why not. But it's the good news with this Nintendo IP is it's actually a Ubisoft IP. So Ubisoft games usually do go on sale from time to time, a lot. So like the other Mario and Rabbids you can get for like $20. So definitely
I've heard such good things about this game.
yeah,
Like for like it has a 9 out of 10 on IGN, a 9 out of 10 on a GameSpot. It
yeah.
has an 86 on Metacritic. Like, don't wait till it goes on sale. Go
I'm
pick it
not.
up now. Like it
No,
is.
it's a good game. Yeah, it
It's a
feels.
great game. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably will get it. I'm just waiting for a certain day, but I probably will get it. I'm not gonna wait for it. So I was just saying, if you do want to wait for a sale, you can. But it's a good game for the holidays. I would recommend it, especially if the Switch is your only console and you're looking for like a good strategy game to play. Go go for it. Why don't you? It's all the reliable sources were saying good things about it. There's hardly any mixed reviews, none negative. So it's like, yeah, go ahead. Like,
Yeah, I've been hearing such good things about this game. Like I heard like basically like they took all the negative criticisms or all the feedback from the original game and they improved on every single element across the board. I hear it's hilarious. Like I hear like the take on, the like usually rabbits are annoying, but I heard
yeah, they
like
are
the
annoying.
I heard like between like the conversations that like they have because the Mario rabbit can talk. None of the other ones can,
Mm,
but I hear it's just a sweet natured, like honestly, like fun game. Like as you alluded to earlier, like the free movement style.
I love
It,
it. I love.
I heard it's so much better instead of
Mm,
like moving squares,
yeah,
like like other XCOM type of games and things like that. Like the free movement, I hear doesn't change a lot, but it feels so much better. Yeah, and then you can customize your characters, like
yeah,
the customization in terms of like how you want to play with your characters. You can change just the way they battle. You can change if like they're more defensive or offensive, or if like if they're more balanced characters, how they move in the environment, whether like they're able to fly or jump, or like just the in terms of the way you can customize your characters are absolutely incredible. But the thing that like I've been hearing mostly around like the internet, like through all these different places and all these different sites, is the accessibility. Like I heard of like even if you are a new player and don't like XCOM games, like you can knock down the accessibility or the easy options, and this game will teach you how to play those games, or it'll make you better, and it is so much fun regardless. Just kind of going through the game. And then if you're really good at those types of games,
yeah.
like you can bump up the difficulty and it's a whole different game.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
like it is sincerely difficult. So yeah, I can I'm excited. I'm happy to see this game is doing so well, and I'm excited to see that it reviewed so high. Yeah, good job Ubisoft, because
yeah,
Ubisoft hasn't had a lot of wins lately. So
yeah.
I'm
For
here to
them,
champion them in this
yeah.
game.
Especially to do it with Nintendo. I mean, that
Yeah.
has to be it's a win for both. Definitely. And I'm thinking about even getting the gold edition. So I mean, we'll
Mm.
see. I mean, that would be all the DLC that comes later on with the game and everything. So I mean, definitely, it's safe to say finance. I will have this game by the end of the year. I just don't know when. But
Cool.
so this is in my radar. I will definitely share it on the podcast and our
Nice.
Discord and everything. So
Yeah.
I
At
will
this
get
point, I
this.
would say it's
Yeah.
one of the best games on Switch. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so I will definitely pick this one up, and it's a great replacement for Gotham Knights. So, I mean, I got to put it out there. So,
Yep.
yes, so definitely thank you all for listening to our game spotlight. Hopefully, you guys had a good one. Now we move on to our main topic, and that is the Bayonetta 3 voice actor controversy. So. This blew up in our chat, believe it or not. I did not know that everyone would have like such a strong opinion on this, but It's been blowing up. So I guess I can explain how this all started. The original voice actor for Bayonetta 3, her name is Helena Taylor. She pretty much went on Twitter, and this is proof that Twitter can just be a kind of a bad thing sometimes for some people. But she went on Twitter, and pretty much she just said that she was paid, X amount of money for the game, and that hold on. Excuse me. And
Bless
that
you.
thank you, and that you should much just boycott the man. All the original fans, of course, they were getting together, but that's only one side of the story. So, um, the new actress that's playing Bayonetta, Jennifer Hill's her name. She pretty much had a great response. If I can find it here. Yeah, here it is right here. With regard to Bayonetta 3, as a longtime member of the voice acting community, I support every actor's right to be paid well and have advocated consistently for this for years. Anyone who knows me or has followed my career will know that I have great respect for my peers and that I am an advocate for all members of the community. I am under an NDA and am not at liberty to speak regarding this situation. My reputation speaks for itself. I sincerely ask that everyone keep in mind that this game has been created by an entire team of hardworking, dedicated people, and I hope everyone will keep an open mind about what they've created. Finally, I hope that everyone involved may resolve their differences in an amicable and respectful way with love and respect to you all. Jennifer Hale. Gotta love that response, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was a good one. And then pretty much it came out that it was pretty much spoken on that the that Platinum Games that according to Bloomberg actually, Jason Schreier, I think that's how you say his name, offered a different account. It's cited by unnamed sources familiar with negotiations who claim Platinum Games offered Taylor 3,000 and 4,000 per recording session for Bayonetta 3 for about $15,000. So that I guess 3,000 or 4,000 that she was initially offered, it wasn't enough, and it pretty much said that Bloomberg reported that Taylor rejected the offer, asking for a six-figure salary as well as residuals from the game sales. After which negotiations broke down. In an email to Bloomberg, Taylor called this account an absolute lie. So someone's lying here, and but I think it's safe to say whoever was on the boycott train, I'm hoping most of those people fell off because it seems like I don't know where to begin, and it sounds like she's going to be blacklisted if you ask me from voice acting ever again. With this whole thing, but why would you try to boycott a game just because of what you were offered, and then come to find out that it's not even true at all? I mean, unless there was a miscommunication. I mean, we were in on a negotiation table between the two parties, but it seems like just something that should have been handled behind closed doors, not go to Twitter and try to get a group of people to boycott the game. If anything, I think this is going to help the sales of this game. But I'm interested to hear what your take on this, Finest.
Yeah, yeah, no. So when this story broke, I was pretty interested in it originally. I was like, oh my gosh, like, Platinum Games. I was like, oh, well, like why would they do such a thing? But I didn't
Yeah,
post on Twitter. I didn't, go bashing Platinum or going after Jennifer Hill. There's so many different aspects of this story, and I think the biggest takeaway. I'm not going to even jump into a lot of it because it's a lot of he said she said.
yeah.
But I think the biggest thing I took away when I was in, not our Discord, when I was in another Discord that I was in, I saw a lot of hot takes in terms of like everyone took everyone basically thought like, but just before all the facts were out, they just you know raised their pitchforks and were like after Platinum Games,
Mm,
and of course you just have to wait for like these stories to unfold. Like you can't just take what a person says, regardless of who it was, like whether it's Platinum or whether it's Helena, whatever her name is,
Taylor.
Helena Taylor. Thank you.
Mm,
You can't just raise your pitchforks. You have to wait for like the entire story to come out about these things. You have to, you you just can't take a like a person for their like whole and full word immediately, because there's 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 two truths right here,
mm,
and they're very very different, and the Platinum could just be trying to save their game and save their ass. In the same respect, Helena Taylor might be telling the whole truth, or what she at least she thought of it, so the truth is somewhere in the middle, but for us to go after Jennifer Hale,
yeah,
or
that shouldn't have happened.
that should not happen. It's so horrible right there, and that just disappoints me, like that fans keep on going after developers,
Yeah,
going after people that are making the game, and just for Helena Taylor to be like, hey, boycott Bayonetta, because I was offered something that I feel like I was not worth, is I think is wrong also.
mm,
There's so many people making games. There's hundreds and
yeah.
hundreds of people making these games, and Bayonetta is not a great selling franchise.
It
like
is,
e-
no, if it
like
isn't.
each Bayonetta 1 and Bayonetta 2 sold about 1.3 million, from what I can discern from the internet. Of course, there's merchandising and elsewhere, but they're not great selling games. So yeah, like there's just so many facets to this. I'm glad it's raised the larger discussion about pay, voice actor pay, because they are actors and so
Yeah,
forth.
they are
But
African.
that that discussion is a side discussion. Like
Mm,
that is not the topic for me here. Helena Taylor was not part of the voice actors union, so if she was part of that, if she was if she was part of that union, she would have been making a certain amount, from the game developers, but she was not. Whereas Jennifer Hale is, so she's regardless going to get paid a certain amount. Whether that amount's fair is another discussion, but it was very disappointing to me that this happened at all. It's very disappointing to me that we're hearing two sides of a story, and we don't know which one's right, which one's wrong. But my last takeaway from this is don't boycott this game,
yeah, mm,
because it is very much there's more than one person that makes a game.
yeah,
So regardless of the contracts and the fall throughs there, yeah, Platinum Games has not been doing well as of lately, and I don't want to see I don't want to see these people not get their bonuses, not get paid. Yeah, I don't want to see that studio fail, overall.
yeah. I mean, I like the Astral Chain, and that was done by Platinum Games, so
Yep.
it's very very good, solid game. Hopefully they do another one, but well, like you said, no one should boycott this game. I mean, it wasn't really on my radar. I'm just being honest, but if you were planning on buying the game, I would buy the game. Just so. I mean, because like you said, everyone, it takes a lot of people to come together to put together these games. So it's like we said before with other issues. Don't take it out on the developers. Just because one person didn't get their way and they're not part of the franchise anymore, and you want to support them. And this also just comes to the classic tale of there's three sides to one story: side A, side B, and then the truth. So somewhere in there lies the truth. I mean, we only time will tell what happens. I mean, But I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, anyone that was on the boycott wagon, they should hopefully just jump off. I mean, and just let 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 the let this game see its light of day. And you know, from what I've been hearing though, I hear it's probably going to do pretty well because I think it's gotten more popular now. And Helena Taylor's video, it had like over 10 million views on Twitter. So
Yeah. I
I
mean,
think,
the discussion's out there. Like it
yeah,
like everyone was talking about it. It was like fire everywhere. Like I
yeah,
didn't expect the conversation in our Discord either that happened.
yeah. That
Um,
was I was blown away by that. I mean,
yeah.
so
Ultimately, I think it raised, I think in our Discord, I think we all, and I don't mean to speak for anyone, but I think we kind of all fell like on the same part,
mhm,
in terms of like we all felt relatively the same way about the larger discussion of things. Where we landed on this, I think everyone kind of was on different sides, but there was a lot of different news coming in constantly,
yeah.
and so we don't know what to believe. Everyone else doesn't know what to believe, and it just kind of sucks that this has happened all together. So yeah,
I mean, hopefully, I just don't want to see the studio fail. But I mean, I hear the pre-order sales are up for Bayonetta 3, so I think the game's gonna do pretty well. I mean, maybe
yeah,
not break records, but maybe along the lines of Metroid Dread and what they did last year. So
yeah.
we'll just have to wait and see.
If it sells, if it sells 1.5 million, it's already done better than both Bayonetta games. So I don't think that. I don't, honestly, I don't think that's going to be too hard for this game, but we'll see.
Yeah, I believe that it will break the record for the first two Bayonetta games. So speaking of, let's talk about that and the rest of the games coming out on the release rundown. Then we'll do chat room, and then we'll put this episode in the books. If you are ready for that, F man.
Ready when you are.
All right, so let's start with October 25th. The Garbage Pail Kids, Mad Mike, and the Quest for the Stale Gum. All consoles and PC. October 27th, you have the regames coming out. Saturnalia, all consoles and PC. Signalis, all consoles and PC. Star Ocean: The Divine Force, that's coming for the PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and X, Xbox One, and PC. October 28th, you have four games. Bayonetta 3, which we just talked about for Switch. Uh, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, PS5, Xbox Series X and X, PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And then Resident Evil Reverse for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Resident Evil Village for Switch and Mac. I believe that's the cloud version, if I'm not mistaken. And then Resident Evil Village Winners Expansion, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and X, Xbox One, Stadia, and PC. So, of all the games coming out next week, we finally got through October, and October was a monstrous month. What games should our audience be looking forward to, or which ones should they pick up?
Honestly, whatever they're into. Whatever they're into. I think there's like a wide range of games here. I mean, you have everything from, the Switch getting like all the Resident Evils, to Bayonetta, which is more like an action game. Star Ocean, you got your RPG right there. I mean, if you want your indie games, I mean, you have Garbage Pail Kids, and you have Saturnalia and Signalius. So I just, man, you have just a wide cornucopia, a wide plate, an array of games for you to play. I myself, I'm gonna keep on trucking on God of War, and then I'm gonna jump into the new God of War early yeah, next month. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
November,
8th,
no, yeah, November 9th, 9th.
9th, the 9th.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I think there's a lot of good games for people to play during these holidays. I think we're all looking forward to the biggest ones, but
Nice.
Curious to see how Call of Duty does this year too, though.
Yeah, I think Call of Duty will do no wrong. I mean, you know, people are gonna run out and buy it. I'm surprised. Well, I mean, sometimes it jumps into November, but it looks like this year it's coming out. Final week in October. So I mean, should be pretty cool to
Yeah.
see
What do
that.
you what do you think our audience should play?
Uh, if they want to do something multiplayer, definitely Call of Duty. If they have a Switch, if they want to take the chance, Bayonetta 3, if they played the first two, or Resident Evil Village. Indie game, definitely Garbage Pail Kids. It's looking like I probably won't be getting any of these games. If anything, I want to go back to last week. Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope, the game we just talked about. That. Yeah, I mean, well, this month overall this was a monster of a month. It looks like
Yeah,
we
there's a
finally
lot of
got,
games released this
yeah.
month. Yeah.
So, so definitely, next week we'll be talking about the games coming out for November finally. So we've gotten through this month. So next week, last week in October, what to get, what to buy, and then we go to the beginning of the month of November, which is another monster, and then
Okay.
uh, after November 18th, it's looking like it. I think it kind of cool sailing from there to the end of the year. But one thing we do need to start thinking about though is our games of the year. So, but I mean, otherwise, anyway, let's hit up chat room. Looks like Matt Bliss blew us up, but I'll do two from him. Let's see. He talked about Railgrade. He asked me a question about Railgrade early on. It looks chill. I think you would like Railgrade, Matt. It kind of reminds that other game he played, Satisfactory. I want to say, yeah. It kind of reminds me of that one. So, definitely, yeah. Does Railgrade have chill vibes? Looks chill. So that one, and then. Let's see. The other one, of course, I gotta go with the funny one. Doing work. You guys are distracting me. Stop. So I figured I'd do two by him. Also, shout out to uh, Extransnist and Diggs BTW7. I hope I said your name right. So, yeah, shout out to you guys. And Gabriel, you're in the house also. What up, man? So. Otherwise, F man, what do you got?
Nah, I think you picked some good ones there. Yeah, just thank you everyone for joining us, and if you haven't yet, just like and subscribe the show, and more importantly, share with your friends. We're doing this every week, and yeah, we want to keep on doing it. So appreciate you all.
All right, well, for Beth man, my main man, Finest Abs, RV Gaming OVG, I'm Justin Reed, aka Too Tall for You Fool, or Too Tall, saying thank you for watching episode 109 of the Game and Watch podcast. Tune in next week for some more great podcast and gaming content. Later.